types of lightsaber. It goes into like all the different forms. I think there's 6 or 7 forms that they have. And one thing that's a little annoying about the book is that the inserts, they fall out, which, you know, it's a little annoying, and I like to keep them on like the pages where they were, so it's, you know, it's annoying because you have to keep putting them back in. But, you know, that's, I guess it's just part of it. You know, just more about Force abilities, different equipment that they'd always have with them. Just more about the archives. There's a page about all the different aliens you might come across in the Republic. At this time, it was the Republic. Then you get a Jedi credit, and it turns out this was named Ceruleans. And, you know, these are aliens that are Force resistant to some abilities, Force wielding beasts. This is more about like, this is like a library type of ship that they're explaining, and different, you know, all the different types of ships they have. And then they also have a section about the Jedi Trials, and it goes in depth to all the different parts of the trial, what's expected, how you can get around actually doing some of the parts. Like if you defeated a Sith, you know, a couple of parts of your trial would be dropped, or you can just completely go on to the next. You might just finish the trials just by defeating a certain Sith. And it just goes more in depth. What happens if you fail? How many times you're allowed to keep trying until the council just says, you know, you're not going to be a Jedi Knight. So that's, you know, this stuff they don't have. And then this goes into the knighting ceremony, and they actually have like the braid. It turns out this was Qui-Gon Jinn's. You know, goes into what's expected of you. Just because you pass the trials, they might not make you a knight. And then if you fail the trials, you know, it's just, they drew a little spaceship and stuff like that, and they, you know, all these different comments. And this is, you know, next page. And there's once you're a knight, what you can do, all the different paths that different knights have taken. Like, they've kind of set it up into 3 different classes. Like, you have the Jedi Guardian, which is kind of like what like Anakin Skywalker would have been, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is what they mostly went to during wartime. Most people that became Jedi Knights became a Jedi Guardian. And then, you know, you can become Temple Security. And then this is a Jedi Starfighter patch. And this was given to Anakin Skywalker after he defeated the Trade Federation in the first episode. You know, it goes into like, you just don't have to be a Guardian, you can be a Starfighter too. You know, and all the different types. You know, it goes into lightsaber instructors, like different weapons. Like some Jedis just use a staff. They don't believe in, you know, that type of violence. Then you have a counselor, which is more like a diplomatic role. And then the Sentinel, which is just like, they just like live on a, like some sort of like secluded planet, they said, and like, you know, they might just help like the community, which is like something that you've never seen in a Star Wars movie before. The guy's just like the resident Jedi. And, you know, it just goes into more temple security, how to further train your abilities once you become a knight, all the different powers. And it goes into advanced lightsaber techniques like throwing it and being on a mount and using it. And how to mix the different forms that they have. And then how they actually enlist members. Like if you want to enlist a member, how they actually go about it. Which is actually like something they don't even mention in the movies, but like by law, they're allowed to take any child that can use the Force, which I thought that was kind of weird. And everyone has to take blood tests for midichlorians. Like they didn't mention that in any of the movies, but like they can actually just take someone's kid and they can't do anything about it. And then it goes into the different tests that they use. Once they locate a child that might have the ability, they go there and, you know, they administer tests to see if they actually have the ability to do it. And then they also go into a brief history of the Sith, how they're formed, and like their lightsaber. They actually use a synthetic red crystal, which actually makes it more powerful. And they actually explain stories of like people fighting Sith, and the Sith lightsaber actually breaking the Jedi lightsaber, which was, I've never heard of that before. This book has a lot of stuff, and the author added tons of stuff. It's not just stuff that you could read in other Star Wars books. It's all, well, not all of it, but most of it is original. And it goes into different schisms, the different wars between the Jedi and the Sith. It goes into a brief history of Darth Bane and the end of the Sith, what they thought was the end of the Sith, and then Darth Sidious is like very, snobby about how it's not the end of the Sith in this section. He put tons of character, and there's some funny moments in this textbook. It goes into different stuff over here, different techniques. It goes into other Force-using organizations that aren't Sith or aren't Jedi. They just they have like these monks over here, the sort of monks. They actually use the Force to increase their strength in combat. They specialize in hand-to-hand combat, and they just go into different types of people that can use it, in taking on a Padawan learner. They have right over here, and then just a quick section on Jedi Master and then Grand Master, and then this is the last section, the Transcending Death. This is like a pretty big section. This is actually the largest section written by a character. This is all Luke over here. And this is like the actual textbook part. So, Luke really goes in depth with like what he's experienced with Yoda, Obi-Wan, and then coming back. And then there's just the publisher's page. So I'm just going to go into a brief statement about the differences between this and then the one you can buy in stores, the non-vault edition, and go into some price points and stuff. So I'm going to be right back. Okay, so I already finished my review. I love the book, but I'm just going to go into the two different versions. We have this version, which is the Vault Edition, and then the mass market version that you can find in bookstores. This is actually only sold on eBay. No, not on eBay, on Amazon. And they sell it for $63 right now. The price on the box says $100, which I think is extremely pricey. Meanwhile, they have a mass production model too, and it's a little different. The main difference is, it's just mostly aesthetic. But over here it says Star Wars, and then they take the Jedi path and they put it over here. And then the actual book itself, it's not like this, like almost like fake leather, soft, hard type of cover. It's actually like a really hard cover, and it's like a flat blue. It's not like glossy, it's like a baby blue type of thing. And then it doesn't have any of these inserts or anything. And for the section on the Prophecy of the Chosen One, they actually have the pages, and this part, because they don't have any inserts, they just write that on the top. But the pages are all redacted, so everything has black marker all over it, so you can't read anything. So, those are really the main differences between them. That mass market one is $14, I believe. And actually, this part, this is actually included, but it's actually printed on this page. So it's gonna look like that. So you can make your decisions. One thing that they did put into, because I actually wanted to check, there are some sections in here where, like, Qui-Gon Jinn refers to his braid being in the book. They actually take that part out. So actually, they didn't just leave that in there, and then people are like, well, where is it? So they actually put detail into it. You can make your decision on which version you want. So that's the end of my review. They are coming out with a Sith version of this on February 10th of 2012. And it's actually like a pyramid, and you press the button and it actually opens and closes, as opposed to it just opening and then you have to manually reset it. And I look forward to reviewing that too. So if you like this, please rate and subscribe, and comment if you have any questions down below. So thank you. Goodbye.